Gonna be a wet one. This one's. You having a wash? Johnny Arthur under an umbrella. Who'd have thought it, eh? First job, landing it. It's not easy threading line when it's a bit dark. I'm going to set up a little paternoster. I can't get the Mandalorian theme tune out of my head, I'm afraid. Smallest one I can find. Oh, that's what I like to use sometimes, yeah. I'm not even going to use the swivel bit, just that for just the link for a little bit of lightness. Pop that on with a little Palomar knot. That's probably the biggest size feeder I'll be chucking today, a little 20 gram. But more likely, I've got some little tiny ones. These are even smaller ones. That's all I'm going to be chucking, and I might even swap to a straight lead if I feel there's too much ground bit in the peg. Let's just chuck a little bomb around and get our range. 20 gram. Don't want to scare the fish too much, do we? No, so let's just lead this around. I'm just going to clip up there. Just give it a little drag back. Make sure there's no branches or all sorts of manner of things chucked in these marinas. A bit more to the right, I think. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So I'm going to pop a little bit of pudding in there. We will get this out whilst we do this. And yeah, and then we'll pop a hook length on and we'll be ready. I've already mixed a little bit of ground bait up before I left. I've got some worms. Can't come to this bit of canal without some worms. I've got some dead maggots and dead pinkies together. Just mix them together. Fluoro pinkies and dead maggots. Yum yum. And then I've got a few live maggots. A few nice red maggots there. And then this, it's a little bit on the dry side, but I almost need it to explode a bit because it's so shallow. It's probably only, it's not even going to be 3 foot where I'm chucking perhaps. But that's brown crumb and Sonar Baits Lake. That's it. I would have put some sweet skimmer in, but I didn't realise I'd run out. But it smells good enough to eat already anyway. So let's pop that there. And we can wet this up a little bit more as well, maybe. That's our mix. Probably mix too much up. Not like me. So that's our live maggots. That's our dead maggots. Dead reds and dead pinkies. And let's chop a few wurzels up. They do like worms in this bit, so I'm not going to hold back on the worms. Chop them up as I go along. And that is that. So, we are ready. Let's just pop a little 4-hole 20 gram cage on. And we'll probably pop 4 of them in. And then we might swap to an even smaller one. Bit of finesse feeder fishing this. Plus it's only a little tiny rod with a 1/2 ounce tip, 10-foot Horizon Slim. So a little bit of worm, and a few dead pinkies in there. I hate casting over umbrella. On. Put 4 of them in. Oh, where's that gone? I've never feeder fished on this little marine. I've always fancied it. I've got some casters in the fridge, but I thought, oh, what the hell, let's keep it nice and simple. Save my casters, are quite a precious commodity at the moment. So I'm not going to get them all feeding on a 6pence. If there's any quality fish about. Like I say, a bream would be nice. Bream live in this marina. They do disappear sometimes. I walk it and you hear people say the bream have disappeared. I think they disappear up the canal to spawn and do all sorts of things. I wasn't paying attention with that cast. I will admit that was a terrible cast. That's too far to the right, but that's maybe not a bad thing. Alright, last chuck. Okay, more than enough disturbance, but it's only a little 4-hole cage, so it's probably equivalent to a 250mm pot. That's better. That's where I wanted it. This is only £4 Horizon Mono, which is 016. I could have fished braid, but it's only a short thing, and I want a bit of stretch, to be honest, at this sort of range. And yeah, I'm going to take that cage off now and pop an even smaller one on. These are old Browning ones. What does that say? That's I've got some that are like 7 gram and some that are 10 gram or 8 gram. I don't know what that is. Don't know what it says. Feels light anyway, whatever it is. We'll pop that on. A little micro feeder. Right. And let's try and find what hooks. We've got a load of old hooks here we've not used forever. I'm going to start off on a 14 with a view to maybe a bream or 2 in the area. Start off on that, a 14 to 015 fluorocarbon, but I think we might be scaling down. Let's start off positive. On the meatiest size, for a canal anyway. But I think I might be fishing a 16 to 012 soonish. Nearly blew away. Yes, that's just a 14. I'm going to fish it on I want about an 18-inch tail in total, I think, to begin with. Yeah, tiny little feeder, so it's not going to sink in the silt. And it's not going to make too much of a splash. Yeah, so what's that? I'm going to say that's 18-inch. We'll definitely start off on a worm. Half a worm. Or 2/3 of a worm. perch if nothing else. Have a little dollop of feed. Tiny pinches in this. You might find we want no feed after this. Who knows? But yeah, tiny little feeder. Oh, that little plop was very satisfying. Fishing under an umbrella, I never know where to put my landing net handle. Obviously I'd love it behind me, but there could be people behind me, so I've got it wedged that way at the moment. That's it, we're all locked and loaded. Oh, a little fish top down the middle then. It's the first sign of a fish. You do see predators striking in this marina. There's no shortage of fish in this marina, but I think they get fed a little bit, and they're not the easiest to catch. It can be very prolific for bream certain times of the year. We'll see. We'll know within 30-40 minutes, I think, if we're going to catch anything. I'm going to drag it a little bit. Drag's nice. Yeah, it's not too snaggy, this marina. There's always a chance someone's chucked some rubbish in out from one of the boats, so you never quite know. And there was a deeper channel down the middle. If I had a bit more time, I would have fed a swim down the middle as well. But let's chuck it over there and build the one swim up. Watch that tip for a few trembles. Yeah, 1/2 ounce quiver tip, little 10-foot slim. I've got a 016 Horizon mono on this, a little 3000 ethos reel, and 14 to 015 fluorocarbon at the moment. And I'm more than prepared to scale right down to 012, maybe even 010 in my box. Oh, that was a little tap, first chuck. Tiniest little hoop. You probably can't see a thing on that camera just yet with the light levels. Probably looks awful. Probably in an hour or two it'll still look horrible and grey. Come on baby. I'm already thinking I'm fishing too heavy. I've had one cast, but we'll persevere with this. So if I can just catch 2 or 3 quality fish, that's job done, I think, before the boats. Let's give it another cast then. Check, inspect our worm, see if it's been mangled or not. No. Plop. Oh, that's a beautiful little plop. I've always had a little obsession with fishing little floats, little feeders, little rods. There's something about that some people love to fish, you know, big long rods and heavy gear and 5-ounce leads and stuff like that. But I don't know, I get a lot of satisfaction. I get a lot of satisfaction out of fishing with finesse. Although my hook and hook length isn't particularly fine, the rest of the tackle is for now. Yeah, nice little flat rod rest. I've always think that's quite important for this sort of fishing. Allows me to drag and strike and stuff. Yeah, they reckon the rain's going to stop about 8 or 9 o'clock, and I've probably be done by then. And we'll almost certainly have had a boat by then. This canal, this is the Oxford Canal. It's a lot shallower and a lot narrower than the Grand Union, which I also grew up fishing. So once you get 1 or 2 boats go through, ooh, there we are. There we are. There we are. Oh no, it's off. The worm has doubled up. I saw it roll. Look at that. Might not have been a bream, but it came to the top. What are the chances of that? What are the chances? I actually saw it come off in the peg. Not ideal. I have a habit of losing the first fish, don't I? That was a good fish. No slime on the line, but it came to the top, whatever it was. and come off. Could have been a big perch. It were on, wasn't it? But unfortunately I lost it exactly where I hooked it. I think the only reason that came off is because the worm had doubled over. Doesn't tend to happen. I think I was a bit unlucky there. Bagger. Oh well, that was a quality fish anyway. That was a pound anyway, I think. But it just stayed there. I'm not sure if it was a bream. At least we've lost it early, so there's plenty of time for a few fish to return. Quite a savage bite as well, as you'd expect at this range, with a very light quiver tip. Not ideal, Johnny boy. Not ideal at all. I'll pop a couple of dead maggots on next chub, unless this shoots round. Quickly go through the card of hook baits till I settle on something. Nowhere near as big. I'm going to say it's a skimmer, I think. Yeah, so whatever we lost was 2 or 3 times that. Oh, I hate umbrellas. How do people fish under an umbrella? There we are there. Oh, Jimmy Rimmer. Wasn't coming off. There's fish. Yeah. A couple of dead maggots this chuck. Keep popping a little bit of mince worm in, and I'll try a worm head, which is particularly good hook bait for me. Oh, see that little blob? A tiny little blob. 3 inches from you. Always make sure you get rid of every last little bit. Globule. Good, we've caught. Plop. Beautiful. That is such a satisfyingly little plop. Yeah, that was over a pound, that fish that we lost then, based on how that fish fought. I'm not convinced it was a bream, but who knows. Ooh. That was jagging a little bit. Struck too soon. Put a third one on. Leave her on the edge, put 3 on. Quicker bite, wasn't it? Oh, that was a little bit to the right. You didn't see that, did you? That's me casting awkwardly. I don't think it does any harm to feed a little bit of an area with this though. Especially if there's a bream or two about. I come to this marina a few times a year. Some nice big perch in the winter. Come lure fishing. Generally when I come here I do fish for the bream, of which there are some lovely big ones in here. I've put a bend in this little rod anyway. I've shot a few articles here in the past. I did a feature with Dean Barlow here, a little video somewhere online you'll be able to find. I think he still reckons it's one of the best ones he's done. It was a nice day that. He caught best on worms that day, definitely. Look. About the same size or bigger. Oh no, it's a perch. About bigger than the skimmer. Nice. Try a couple of live maggots. I brought them. Let's try them. Let's try everything quick. We can rule things out quick then. A couple of big maggots. So, well, that's where we wanted it, Johnny boy. But we caught a perch on the periphery. Oh, that's on the drop. Oh, that was on the drop. It was a small fish. Wow, felt the rod lunge. What sort of idiot comes out in this weather, eh? Oh. Right, let's put a sliver of worm on. Half-inch bit of worm. Normally a good skimmer bait. Someone's had that on the drop. Yeah. Oh, fell off. It was I'm pretty sure that was a bleak. Alright, I'm going to leave that on. It's not been marked. I'm going to chuck an empty feeder. I think that's what we had on the drop before. So there's a lot of bleak in here if they home in. Which is why I think that worm's good. Something a bit bleak proof. Yeah, so I could swap to a bomb, but that little empty feeder is as good as fishing a bomb, isn't it? In fact, it's lighter than my bombs, I think. That was a little fish. That was a little one. Well, no shortage of bites anyway. Have a couple of hours enjoyable mini pig chucking. Not sure my live maggots will be seeing a great deal of action. Right, bigger up baits. There's clearly a lot of little mouse down there as well. Back to a decent bit of worm. A medium worm. Yeah, I'll do a nice bit of worm there. Ooh. Feels good. Feels bigger than whatever we've caught so far. Yes, that's what we came for. Yes. Oh, I hate umbrellas. And I think that might have been what we lost early. But there we are. It's a good pound. That is what we came for. Phew. Probably weren't coming off. Nailed in the bottom lip. It's in the lip. I'm going to have to use my disgorger. Yeah. Lovely. Yes. Ooh. Phew. That bit through there. Break it in half. And that bit there. Two nice bits of worm there. Hopefully you can see it in this light. A little 10-foot horizon slim. Like a little bomb rod this really. And a 1/2 ounce quiver tip. Just put the lightest one you can. The more sensitive the better. We're not chucking any distance and there's no flow to worry about. So just make everything as sensitive as possible. Crikey, that was a big old liner. And again. 3 big liners out. I had to pick up on that third one. Don't know what was going off there. If in doubt, whack a worm on. More worms. Change up length what I'd pop on. Yeah, I think regardless of whether that goes round or not, I'm going to pop a finer hook on. If you think it, do it. A finer wire red up to 013 fluorocarbon. A bit more in keeping with a canal really. And we'll keep it about the same length. Why hasn't that gone round? Not so much as a sniff on that. Right, finer hook length. Still a 14. I don't think the red colour makes any difference whatsoever. It's just a nice gauge. It's just a finesse hook I've had tied up for a while. Pop a sliver on again. Oh. That exploded on the surface. I think a bleak had had it on the way down. You see my tip jag? I saw a little bleak jump with it. Not sure what happened there. It was only a tiny fish that had that sliver of worm on the way down anyway. Come the swans. Yeah, so we're probably fractionally longer on the tail, a finer wire size 14, and an 013 fluorocarbon hook length. Just a little bit more finesse. If you think it, do it. I don't think there's any advantage in fishing heavier, to be honest, in hindsight. Oh, that was a tiny fish that came off then. That wasn't even half an ounce. Look at that, all smashed to smithereens. I'm just wondering if I should feed a spot down the middle whilst I still can. Give this 5 minutes, and I'm wondering, because I have got enough bait to just chuck some pudding down the middle. Or I know it's a good foot, 18 inches deeper. I was going to feed it with a feeder, but I don't need to, do I? And just chuck a couple of balls in down the middle. This isn't coming back with me. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, the match angler in me is getting impatient now. I'm going to chuck 3 balls down the middle. Perfect. Got a little shadow there I can aim for. Something's definitely gone quiet on that line, so I need to make something happen really. Nothing on that. Surprises me. Little wormhead's normally pretty good. Pop a medium worm on. I think if I popped a maggot on, I'd catch a little fish. So if we don't get a response on this, we'll have another go on a maggot. Very satisfying chucking that little feeder in over there though. Lovely little plop. Blibbly plop. So it's going to stop raining? Come on, I need a couple of quality fish to make this a worthwhile exercise. Someone's nicked half my worm. Long fed. And long thrown a few little balls there short. Let's have an early look on that. I'm not going to pop anything in the feeder. Just a worm. Just a little underarm flick. if anything's going to settle on that. Might do that swim some good, having a little bit of a rest. Yeah, we're just throwing 3 little satsumas down the middle, or down the channel anyway. The boat channel starts at about 4 metres and it goes out to about 11 metres here, and then it goes up quite straight away. Bit perchy, that. Perchy pluck. Percy the plucking perch. Certainly if I was pole fishing today, I'd have 2 swims, one down the middle and one long. So it makes sense to feed one down the track. Obviously with no boat traffic at the moment, so I imagine that's where a lot of the big fish are happy anyway. A bit more water over their backs. Oh. Savage. Oh, that's bit the end of me worm off as well. Worm snafflers. A couple of dead maggots on. Again, I'm not going to put anything in the feeder just yet. Sort of overcast it and then just drag it to where I think it needs to be. So it goes down with the least amount of disturbance. I think that was a perch snaffling the end of my worm. There you go. Oh, it felt big then when I hooked it. Maybe I just caught around something. It felt like it was a decent fish. Okay. Catch one more on 2 deads. We will actually feed some this time. So if nothing else, we've given that line a little bit of a rest as well. Can do it a world of good having a line out of the swim for 10 minutes. The other camera's packed up. I think the other camera's packed up. We've got a, let's say it's a skimmer. No, perfect. What am I doing? I'm all back to front here. Oh, there's another bit of worm in its mouth. That's not from me. Look, I've hooked 2 bits of worm. Put 1 bit of worm on and came back with 2. 2 or 3. Wonder if anyone else is out fishing today. What am I doing out in this? Roach. We just try and catch a few of those for a bit. I'm going to say it's a perch, I think. The perch. It's not getting any better weather-wise, is it? Right then, we've given this a good 10-minute rest at least. See if any fish have returned. Definitely went quiet. Cool. 3 dead maggots. I'm hoping this is a bream. It was a bit breamy. Oh, what is it? Angry. Oh, it's a zander. It's a bloody zander. Great big zander. Bloody hell. Oh, get back in the landing net, you. I thought it looked a bit long and thin. Bloody hell. Zander. Oh dear. Trying to salvage me uplink. That properly hooked in the lip. You can see it. Evil things. Just in the side of the scissors. Look at that, smashed maggots as well. I can't believe that is a zander. He's a few pound, that, isn't he? That evil thing. I bet you wasn't expecting that on the feeder. Well, that explains what the commotion was with the bleak. Hook's a little bit bent out, as you can expect. Big bony mouth predator. He took that fair and square as well. I know they're not everyone's cup of tea, but they're here to stay. If it was a match, they wouldn't count. Non-native invasive species, but I've caught plenty of them on the Oxford Canal. I quite enjoy fishing for them in the winter. Give you plenty of bites. The match scene's all but gone anyway. Wow, maybe with that out of the peg, it might help our fortunes. That's it. I said I could see them all scattering. Chop some more worms up now. Zander. I thought the fight was a bit strange. Very sensitive bite. Oh, not really a savage bite for such a big predator. There's on a big bit of worm now. Got a bit of confidence now, haven't they? Zelda the zander out the peg. I said I had a couple of big liners, and that could have easily been a predator going through the peg. But if I can catch a zander on an 013 bottom and catch anything, it's strong enough for anything. That's it. Come to the Oxford Canal, £3 zander on the feeder. That's a bite. That tip was rocking and rolling and doing all sorts. I can't believe that's just a perch. There's a bream or something in the peg now, I'm sure. No, that's what I'm on about. They're the bleaky things. So back on with the worm. Three pinkies. Regular. Try that again then. Don't mind catching fish like that. quite enjoying this, to be honest. I know we're not setting any records alight or anything, but just enjoyable, isn't it? Tucked away under an umbrella with a little short rod. No pole shipping in and out behind me, looking left and right for cyclists and that. Surprised I haven't seen a boat yet, but this rain's putting them off, thankfully. Fish just scattered again. Another predator there. A little roach on a wormhead. Oh, yeah. Right, get down that middle again. Haven't got long before the boats start coming, so let's see what we can catch down the middle. First dog walker of the day. And she's gone back again. Not even coming as far as me. We've had some bites, haven't we? We just want a couple more quality fish, just to round off the session. Ooh. Be on. Perch. Did say perch? 3 maggots on the drop. And it's a rudd. Whee, a rudd. I'm expecting to see one of those today. Don't see many rudd in this canal. Little rudd. 4 pinkies that was. Is it another rudd? Another rudd? Yeah, so I'm going to go a little bit further. Just see if they've backed off. Just off the end of that boat. I had to go at it straight away. Yeah. Oh, it's a little roach. That's had it straight away, I think. Chucking tight to that boat. Big bit of worm as well, that. Hungry fish. Oh, see me using all these worms at this rate. No, 2 big bits of worm. Greedy old fish, aren't they? I can catch a little fish, a chuck, if I put maggots or pinkies on. But I was hoping to catch something a bit better. And I've started a new line. I've just peeled off, I don't know, 1.5 meters of line. Chucked it about 1 foot off the end of that boat. And again, just small fish. I thought maybe they might have backed off and just a new swim, tie it across might produce the goods, but nope. Come on, baby. Next time I'll come, maybe I'll fish sweet corn or something like that, or definitely should have brought some casters. It's annoying because I've got them in the fridge fresh, going to waste. Well, I've seen 1 dog walker get as far as the bridge and turn back. No joggers, cyclists, boats. Nothing yet. No one's woke up yet. Might as well fish until it stops raining. I'll check my phone and check it's gonna stop. There we are. That's a better fish. Oh, it's a perch. I thought it was a big skimmer then. Alright, back out to the boat. If I can end on one decent fish of any description, that'll do me, I think. Because the rain's just starting to subside now. Bottle top. I don't mind catching those. Let's see and catch a couple more. It's quite fun though, isn't it? In the absence of big fish. Might as well fish to that bowl of ground bait's gone. They're like minnows, they were all scattering. Mostly like these little, I think they're little hybrids. Whoop. That's the first bleak. A big bleak in here. I said before, huge bleak. Pluck, 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 plucky, pluck, 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 pluck. Slightly better. And 4. 4 dead maggots. I think I used to be fishing for them with a single squat. Okay, let's get back out by that boat. If we don't get a bite on that, we'll revert back to the original spot. Towing now, so there's definitely a boat coming. That might actually help. Nice. I've hardly ever feeder fished on a canal like this, and it's been thoroughly enjoyable, to be honest. To be honest with you, mate. Oh yeah. You can see the plumes of mud, and it went through nicely, but it's so shallow and silty, this marina. Well, the whole canal. And it doesn't take much to kick it all up. I was on a biggish bit of worm. That's a roach, proper roach, that one. Well, I'll tell you what. Oh, hey up. I've got one on. There's me filming, and we got a fish, and a boat's coming. It's all going off. I went to film the train, look round, my rod tip's going round. I think it's a skimmer. If it is, we'll just end on this, because the boat's coming anyway. we will end on this. Oh, it's another zander. You won't believe it. Another zander. Well, that is that. Smaller one. Can't believe that. Zander. What are the chances? Yeah. Big zander. Zander. See the worm in its gob? Don't bite me. Another zander. What is going on? Well, I didn't expect to be ending on another zander. 2 zander on the feeder. And a small skimmer and a big skimmer. And a load of smaller fish. Interesting session. We'll have to come back and have another go. Of course I'm having one last cast. I don't particularly want to end on a zander. Into them. No, my first ever crayfish. It's a big one. It's a big one. First ever crayfish from this area. That might explain some of the bites. Look at that bloody thing. Never caught a crayfish from this bit before. Oh dear, not a good sign. Bigger than all, wasn't it? Daddy raw. Daddy raw. There we are. Double figures on the canal. But not the double figures I expected. Great big zander. 2 zander. Only 1 skimmer. But, loads and loads of these smaller fish. Loads of them. Good sport on a little light feeder gear. So yeah, whoop, that one's gone back. Absolutely cracking. I'll see you again.